Hey guys! We decided to answer some of your questions from the reader survey with a video interview.
So the first question is, what is your relationship and how did you meet?
I am Caitlin Statler.
And we get very shocked faces all the time when people ask us and we answer.
They think I age really well.
But we are only 8 years apart.
8 years.
So, okay, how often do you give handmade gifts? I feel like some people are going to appreciate handmade gifts and some people aren't. So I feel like I don't always put the effort in for people that I know would just prefer something store-bought. But I feel like most of my gifts include something handmade.
Right.
Some little
It's usually a
aspect of it.
mix.
Yeah. How do you photograph when both of your hands are in the project? So we spend most Mondays having meetings. Then we meet up throughout the week to do shoots. So if both hands are in a shot, usually the other person is shooting, but occasionally we do use a tripod. What are things or practices in your life that you put a lot of intentional thought behind?
Deep question. For me, probably it would be my relationship with God. Taking time to do devotions, and I spend a lot of time at church, either just going to service or going to Bible study, and I also try to volunteer my time there in different groups. And I try to be really intentional about family time, making sure that most nights we have dinner just together around the table, and spending time playing with my boys, interacting with them, making sure that they're well-rounded. So.
Yeah, and I would say probably my relationship with God is one of the most things that I'm intentional about. And then also just being present, and I think in the past year I've had some issues with anxiety, so I've been really intentional about having relaxing practices in place, like whether it's just spending the evening drinking tea and soaking my feet or whatever. How can I move into the beautiful new kitchen? Well, my cousin Tori actually owns the house. So I mean, if you're willing to pay rent, I'm sure she'd be willing to have you. There's a corner that you could put a bed, I think, so you're welcome to join us there. How much of your home consists of DIY?
Probably maybe 50%. It's hard to really say. Some of it is DIY that we've actually had on the blog, like done show the projects for. Some of it isn't. My husband is a carpenter, and he can build anything, literally anything. That table. So we're in my living room right now, and just like looking around, you know, we could be like that table, the coffee table, that couch, the shelf, the cat bed,
Painting?
the painting, the dowel ladder, the bookshelves, the toy shelves. Yeah, I mean, maybe this room might even have more than 50%. I don't know. So yeah, a lot of it is.
Are you Mormon? I like this. We aren't Mormon. We are Christians. But
We are.
yeah.
Curious as to why someone was wondering that. If you want to leave an anonymous comment, if there was something that made you think that. But we follow a lot of Mormon bloggers. We know that there's a lot of Mormon bloggers out there, so I don't know if that was it. Or we do enjoy our mocktails, so that was it too. But
what are your morning routines?
so we maybe should do a blog post on this sometime, and I say this like hesitantly because I know it'll make a lot of moms jealous. My husband gets up every morning and deals with the boys so that I can sleep in a little bit, which is amazing. And I know a lot of you hate me right now. Sorry. I'm not a morning person at all. Sleep is like one of the most important things to me, and I sleep a lot. But I need it or I get grouchy. So he'll get up and deal with the boys. We tell them they have to stay in bed till 7. But I wake up anytime between 7 and 7:40, depending on how loud the boys are, but I usually don't get out of bed until 7:40, and then I always take a shower first. I am a shower person. That's like what helps me get up in the morning. I need my shower, and then I need coffee, and then I can deal with life. And then I come out from getting ready, and my husband also has my coffee ready and waiting for me. So yeah, I have it pretty good. So then I get my boys ready for school, send them off, and then usually dive into work after that. So
on mornings that I work in the morning, I typically stay in bed. I sleep until the very last minute. I jump out of bed, get a shower, and then usually grab a yogurt and go to work. And then on mornings that I don't have to be in work at a specific time, I usually shower, do devotions. I don't drink coffee, so I just make myself breakfast and then start the day. Alright, you never showed the haircut that you picked. This is the haircut that I picked. Chopped a lot off. I think it was like, I don't know, 14 or to 16 inches.
yeah.
But it feels amazing to be short again. It's been like 7 years since I had short hair, and it feels really good.
So my big thing was going to a curly hairdresser for the first time, and I just said I'm going to do whatever they think is best. So she told me that I should keep my length. It just needed really to be trimmed. And then she taught me like a few different tricks to style it. It is a little bit really bad right now. I don't know why today I knew we were going to film this, but I shampooed, and my shampoo days are always the worst because my hair is really frizzy. And I should go get a trim again, but I decided that she thought that the length was good for my hair, and it just, like, my hair just keeps getting curlier. As I'm getting older, it just keeps getting curlier and curlier, and having it long weights it down, so I guess it's good.
What do your spaces look like with everyday wear and tear from living?
Scary.
I do like this because I think it's important that people know that our spaces don't look like blog posts every day.
Yeah, and I feel like we've tried over the last 4 years that we've been vlogging to be honest about that. Like, we mention it in posts that, like, this is what, that this is where we shoot, this is our like studio room, and we've joked before about like, oh, what if we really turned the camera around, so I feel like we've talked about it, hoping that people realize like what we do is like our job, and we set it up that way to make it look nice.
But that's not always realistic to keep every room like that every day.
Not at all. With 3 boys, not at all.
But we'll show you some clips of what our houses look like right now. A couple little room tours of the mess.
This is my kitchen in real life. So there's always shoes piled by the door, dirty dishes, stuff on the table, stuff on the counters. This is my desk, which is always really messy, and I just always throw everything on it. So it never looks good unless I'm taking a picture here, which I rarely do, so it rarely looks good. Here's my living room. Usually there's stuff on the coffee table. A lot of times there's snack bowls, but I made the boys pick those up before they left. And usually the biggest disaster is over where the boys play. Those are their toy baskets. And there's always tons of Legos on the floor. This is the room that we're currently working on, and it's almost done. And the boys have been in here with markers, which is something they are never supposed to do.
So this is the kitchen, and normally we have dishes everywhere that are either being dried or have not been cleaned. But for the most part, with just 3 adults, it stays decently clean most of the time. This is the living room that we haven't redone yet, so we have to wait to do the floor. There's still Christmas things hanging, and I use this for DIY projects, so it's kind of just a disaster room at this point. And this is my room.
My bed is always unmade, and there's always clothes on the floor, and my dresser is pretty much always a disaster. And this room is probably the most embarrassing. It's like a closet for 3 girls and craft storage and things that are supposed to go in the attic. But yeah, it's kind of a disaster. So that's real life.
How do you keep your beautiful plants alive, and how long do they survive?
Mine are not well. I shared a little bit, like a couple months ago on Instagram stories, I shared a little bit about I gave a little plant tour and showed some of my house plants. I don't have a green thumb at all, and really struggle with, the cats come in right now, really struggle with keeping my plants alive, and I go through phases of doing well, like remembering them and watering them, and phases where I don't. So I try to stick with plants that do well with neglect. But a lot of my plants end up dying, and I just replace them. But so far my big ones are they're not thriving, but they're still alive.
Yeah, I had an apartment for 5 years before I moved into my cousin's house this year.
Oh my
So I have plants that had been alive in my apartment for 5 years. But I do basically just get plants that are known to be pretty healthy and easy to survive, people who are terrible with plants. But yeah, I have like a collection of plants that I've kept alive for 5 years, which is amazing. But I think that's all of the questions. So
Yep.
Hopefully you learned a little bit, and you like to see our faces.
Well, also we had quite a few questions that people wrote about our more the blog business kind of side of things. So we're gonna do a dedicated post just to those questions, just so we can get more into it of how we started, what we do, what our what the business side looks like. So that if you had a question about that and you're like, you didn't answer that, it's coming. So we're gonna do a whole post for the blog business stuff.
Thanks!
Thanks for reading.